feel like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only go like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want.
Let's do this. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Humble Pie Podcast, man. We in the building.
Yes, sir.
What up?
As y'all can see, we got better things for y'all. We got lighting.
Yes, sir.
Upgrade.
It's a soft tone.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Beast, man. I got my co-host with me. I didn't even introduce myself last time, so
Introduce yourself.
I'm Beast. Beast Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
The neighborhood rich auntie.
Neighborhood rich auntie.
Yeah, you know it. You know what it is. You already know me. Wallace Dollars, y'all.
Wallace Dollars. This episode, Wallace Dollars. Wallace Dollars.
I like that one, man. I would like that.
And we hope y'all like that new intro.
Yeah.
Hey, get into that.
Shout out to Wallace for the new intro. Appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying?
Big ups.
Yeah, that was tight, bro. I like that, man. So, don't forget, y'all. We need y'all to like and subscribe,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
comment,
Big fact.
share it, tag us,
Yes.
tag your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, man.
Drop it in that group chat.
Get that reach out there. You know what I'm saying? Look at them, y'all. What they talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And comment.
Yeah.
Comment,
Yes.
especially on YouTube.
Yes.
Comment.
Yes. We want to talk to y'all.
For real. You know what I'm saying? It looks free to y'all, but the comments help. You know, this production.
Yeah. We need to comment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how y'all pay us.
Look at a couple episodes. You know, I like to respond in the comments.
Just
Because I got time.
we pay us attention.
Yeah, we real people.
I got time.
We will respond. You know what I'm saying? So let's hop right into this, y'all.
Let's do it.
She ain't got time.
I really don't, though.
We're going to hop right into it. All right, y'all. So, y'all know we got a new segment on the show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We have a new segment on the show. This is true and false.
Mm-hmm.
Hopping in, start it up right up. I guess this one goes to the leader.
Okay. Let's do it.
True or false?
Mhm.
Jealousy is a sign of love.
Absolutely not. False.
False. Okay.
False.
You want to elaborate on that?
I think it's such a negative way of trying to excuse someone's lack of security in themselves and the security that they don't feel in a relationship. So it's like, nah, you need to go lay on the couch about that.
Big fan.
Because
Big
you're not
fact.
making me feel, that's not love, that's more control. Like, if I can't interact with nobody, if people can't, especially the things that aren't in your control, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get jealous because somebody spoke to me. What am I supposed to do about that? Why do I have to pay for that crime?
Facebook.
From experience,
Like, come
changed
on,
the phone number, had to seek legal counsel.
Okay. Cease and desist orders and all that.
You know,
damn.
just saying, somebody left 3 fire emojis and he threatened bodily harm and wanted to do some contract killing. That's for another episode.
Ooh, I can't wait till that episode.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, jealousy is crazy, man. Some people mistake it for love.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? To some people, it's true. You know what I'm saying? They feel like jealousy is a sign of love. Because why you not jealous?
And without it, they don't feel love.
Toxic.
Yeah. Ooh. Bars.
Toxic.
Yeah.
The 7th motherfucking love language.
Hey, Wallow. True or false?
False. Oh, no.
You don't even know.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
Quick on the trigger, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Men love harder than women. True or false?
False.
That's false? Okay.
That's big fault.
Okay. I mean, you going to tell us why or it's just false?
You know what? It's a kind of up in the air thing. Right? So men love harder than women. The reason why I say false is women tend to be more supportive when it comes to certain things. And men will check out with no problem. With no problem. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. You cheat once, I'm out of here.
Lack of resiliency.
I cheat 17 times.
Stay put. Better not move.
Stay put. Y'all are crazy.
But all to y'all volition though. Like even without the threat, you know what I'm saying? We give less passes than they give. That's the reason why I say women love a little bit harder than men. Now, we still got those toxic situations.
Okay.
That part.
And a toxic nigga love harder than anybody.
That's why we had the jealousy at first, and now we saying, do men actually love harder? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I did there. Last one. This one's going to be for the floor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is it healthy to have friends of the opposite sex while in a relationship? It is healthy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have the Jeopardy sound like going for this one.
It's the context, though.
Healthy.
Is it healthy?
It's the healthy for me.
Healthy.
I'm going to say false.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'm going to say false is because of the healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I do believe in having opposite sex friends,
mm-hmm.
while I think it's to me, I encourage it. You know what I'm saying? While I do believe it's okay, the healthy part makes me think about if your partner is not okay with it, and you still just rocking with it, it creates an unhealthy environment.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But that's if you standing on your, like, nah, fuck that. This is my friend from grammar school.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third,
Yeah.
yada, yada. So it creates it creates an unhealthy environment. But I do believe in opposite sex friendships, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not.
I think it creates, because in general, from male to female, woman to man, however you want to call yourself or whatever, having platonic relationships is a healthy practice.
Facts.
It is. It
Facts.
is. Should be, even if you're not in a relationship.
Facts.
Every person that is not of the same gender as you should not be somebody that you're trying to get with or, explore. Like, that tells me that you have a lack of self-control.
Big fact.
Because that means you let anybody get it.
That's what he said. He wanted every girl in the world. He wanted to bleep every girl in the world. So he likes some self-control back in Yeah. For me, I think, I think that's false as well. I mean, boundaries. That's the kind of thing.
That's
what
it comes down to.
It's just really what it comes down to, the boundaries of it all. You know what I'm saying? So
what happens though? What happens in a situation of your girl says, she's behind the camera. Yeah.
She's there.
Your girl said, "Hey, I don't care how long you been knowing no leader. I don't want your friends.
I don't care about no uniforms. What you mean? Stupid.
Why are you still here?
I want my necklace back.
Give me my damn necklace back. Hey, shot. You got Picasso on your house.
Oh my God.
That's definitely like top 5 black movies of all time.
It is.
Big fact.
Yeah.
But have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, we actually have had uncomfortable conversations about friends of the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, it's about communicating that.
Yeah.
And I failed to do that. You know what I mean? So
Transparency.
it's important to be transparent.
I get you.
What's that time frame like though?
What you mean?
What's that time frame like?
To let your partner know you got a friend of the opposite sex? Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Never thought about that. I think like it should be immediate. Something they should know right away. I guess.
Like how soon into the official relationship do you start?
Exactly. Like, because you could be with somebody and then you just not saying, okay, this is my friend. This is what I got going on. I think as the relationship flows, you learn when to insert said knowledge, just like your financial situation.
True.
Or just like your living situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of have like the basics that you would start with. And then the friend stuff kind of come as the relationship grows.
I'm an immediate type nigga.
So you putting it all out there right off that.
Yeah.
He said this was on the docket.
Hey,
this was on the docket.
This person is in my life. She's of the opposite sex. This is my best friend. And allow them to create whatever ideal that they want from there before we even get locked fully in. Because we not finna I'm not finna deal with you going back and forth with me about my friend.
Okay.
Somebody who I've known for 20 years.
And that can expose a lot about their level of maturity in that area for you to even want to continue moving forward. Because if they flash out, it's
some women might not be cool with that. You know what I'm
Can I sleep next to you? Is my neck safe? Is the cutlery still in the drawer? Like, what you got going on?
Yeah, it all comes down to, I think it says transparency and That's obviously a good way to go about it as well. Just
Can you have new friends?
Of opposite sex or just
of the opposite sex? So can you, because
can you have new friends, or do y'all have to make the friend?
Or do y'all have to make the friends together?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think, I guess if y'all asking me to answer the question.
No, just in general.
Oh, just in general. I think, I'll just put myself in it. As you grow as an individual, as a person, it's possible, but I think it's always best to kind of like a new person that's introduced to the relationship.
Right.
Or to her or me.
Whoa, introduced to the relationship. What we talking about here? Wait a minute.
Okay, toi.
Come and swing. No,
You're so silly.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I think, and I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit, but there should just be a general introduction if that's necessary.
Communication.
Like, just if it makes your partner uncomfortable, they should know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, and like you were saying, tell them everything off bat. That's a good way to do it as well. Then you give them the choice,
right?
If that's what they're gonna deal with or how they're gonna handle it.
Because what is exposed for me in past relationships when men that I've dated are just hands down like, nah, you can't have no friends, no male friends. That tells me a lot about him because it's like, oh, so that sis that you introduced me to, you been sliding on her.
There you go.
Gotta be.
Because it's definitely gotta traumas. Because I've been through that before. Like, I don't want my girl having no male friends. And that wasn't because of the person I was with at the time. It was a past trauma and experience. I think that happens in those situations too.
Right.
When it comes to friendships, like, well, I was dating this one person and she said this was her friend or her brother. You know, Chicago girls call them their brother.
Everybody a brother.
Yeah, they call them their brother, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it got ugly, and it's like, okay, from that situation, I'm just like, okay. Next chick tell me her friend, her guy friend, her brother, I'm go upside her head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to look at her sideways because, like, ain't no way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This particular person put it completely in my face. Like you said, told me from jump, but it was almost like manipulation. It's like, okay, I'm going to cool his jets on this topic to make him feel like it's cool, but at the same time, this is some shit I really got going on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, so it happens. I mean,
that's an integrity issue too.
It definitely is.
Definitely an integrity issue.
Because there's definitely, like you said, there's definitely men and women that have platonic relationships. Like, it ain't nothing but friendship. We friends. We cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was good, y'all. That was good. Isolating.
Okay.
Get the juices going.
Getting flowing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so I got a clip. So y'all know we like to have a clip.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Every episode, or at least recently, we have clips. We talk about things based off the clip. So we got a clip for y'all today. And again, don't worry, you'll see it. And then we're gonna hop from there.
Okay. Let's run it.
Where it be?
Let's run it.
Most women are trying to be the leader. That's why you can't find a man. You can't be the king in the house. Fall back and be the queen and let your man lead the way.
What does that mean? You can't be a leader? Because a lot of women look at that like, no, I can lead in my household. I can do this in my household. What does that mean?
That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's why we bump heads. It's a generational curse. And how society have placed our men. And women have to stand up and be the mother and the father and the provider. And so then now you are so bad, you can't be told nothing, that when the right man come, you lose him because you're trying to be the man.
Can we be equal?
Of course. Because at the end of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. It all works together. But you can't be the head of the house. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. Stand up, be strong. You can still be a queen. Queen plays a part. The king needs his queen.
Fantasia girl. Yeah. Rub hands like Birdman.
Thank God it's Friday.
So the clip we had was Fantasia obviously talking about on the Breakfast Club about, again, gender roles, I guess, or a woman's role in a man's life. And I want to ask y'all, we're going to get into it because a lot can be taken from that. I mean, she talked about generational curses. She talking about, the man being the head. She talked about how women should be the neck and not the head, and that women have been cursed to think that they have to be this strong, assertive female when that's really causing a rift in the structure of the household. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, there's plenty of variables. Well, a man got to have A, B, C, and D, or a woman say, well, I ain't going to just lay down for a man. He got to prove this to me, that he can lead me, that he can be trusted with all these things, because I've been doing all this stuff for myself. You know what I'm saying? So my thing about that is I agree with a lot of points she made as far as it being something that's been taught. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's generational, a lot of women, most of us have been raised by single women or a single grandmama. So the father hasn't even been in the household at all, or he's very absent, or he comes around every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So that has created these independent women. So I want to ask y'all, what does a traditional relationship look like in 2023? No leader?
A traditional.
So, like, I'll give you a little something to go from. So,
is it possible?
Right. So, check it out. So, like, I grew up around my grandparents in my early childhood. I never seen my grandmother work, my grandfather work, or what I understood would look like work. He would leave and come home, stuff like that. I never really seen my grandma leave the house. She was always at the crib, stuff like that. So, as I got older, that was just my thing that I knew I had to work. All my uncles around me, they worked. All the women in my family, they work. So everybody kind of worked. I came from a blue collar family, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I get a girlfriend or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna work, and that creates my value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I know.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older and been in more relationships and had different experiences, it's like, okay, that's not always the case. But it should be more of a cooperative thing. As far as if you're in a relationship with somebody you trust and or marriage, things should be, not necessarily 50-50 because that's what people get lost in. Yeah. Half and half. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it should just be a collective to achieve said goal in a relationship. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like traditional wise, what I saw. My grandfather went to work. Right. My grandma stayed at the crib. Right. And that's what it was. I never seen my grandma pay a bill. I never seen I never seen these things transpire in my adolescence. As a kid. So when I grew up, as I grew up and became a man, it's like, okay, I know one thing, I gotta have a job. Right. I gotta work.
Right. I think when we look at tradition, right, especially for out of the pairing, Black women have progressed so much. So yes, our grandparents, we look to them as an example, but a lot of times it wasn't that our grandmothers didn't want to work. It was what level of education did they have? What rights did they have at the time? So we've advanced so much in that space that in order for that advancement to have happened, we had to seize the moment and show up in the workspace. Right. We had to show up, on Capitol Hill and fight for these rights and stuff like that. So I think that contributes to it. But we also know, we've all heard of Jim Jones and the juice, right? So some people drank the juice. Not the government, not the rapper. Some people drank the juice in our community and they really have bought into this objective that the government had, which was to extract the Black man from the home, to really push that narrative that Black men aren't providers, that Black men do not want to be present in the home, and that women have to forge all of that on themselves. And we're seeing the final result of that because it took some time through the 80s, it took some time through the 90s, but we're finally seeing a result of what that consistent 2-generation period looks like without having a man in the home. So for me, like I saw my mom working. I didn't see my dad. They were divorced, right? But my dad has always worked. He's always been a provider. So it was a difference between her being a single mother or a single woman who was co-parenting. So that made a difference for me. But how I want to show up in a relationship is my man needs to pull his weight. I want him to be the head of the home. Right. I tell people what to do at work all day long, every week. I want to come home and it's just certain things that I don't want to have to put that on my shoulders. Right. Like I want him to bear that. Right. Because it's other things that he's going to lean on me for as well. So I think it's just about balance, but not, it's like you said, like 50-50 is not always just financial. It's about like how you run your household. Yeah. Like who helps to make the decisions and who is making all those decisions all the time. That can be fatigue. Right. Yeah.
What about you, Juan?
So I want to add like a couple of layers like under what she said in regards to like the 80s and how that shit was structured and how they structured a system to get the Black men out of the household. When they put us in a situation where we could not get jobs, and we're just going to use the 80s. They put us in situations where it was hard for us to get jobs. Of course, at this particular point, black people in general are still kind of like still in the lowest paid bracket, which is odd. But It put us in situations where we couldn't get jobs. And then once the wife went on to public aid, then they put her in a situation where the husband, a man, couldn't be in the house, be in the house, so you can't get the public aid
Because of two incomes.
because it's two incomes. So then they also put that crack on the street, and that's literal. They literally put that on the streets. I'm not being figurative. And they gave us some people the quote unquote opportunity to make a living from that, but that was also something to tear down the neighborhood.
Yes.
It was definitely about design.
So by all these layers added into each other, you got the crack epidemic spreading out through the 80s, through the 90s, through the 2000s, early 2000s. Really not as big of a thing right now, but that's 4 decades probably that we were taking men out of the house. Then the men became the highest incarcerated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you had all of these layers that were put in place to take those men out of the house, and now we get to what Lolita was saying about where we ended up at right now. Now, as far as like traditional relationship, a lot of people talk about the 50-50 thing. Like, you know what I mean? To me, the traditional relationship can't be more 50-50 than nothing, because you had you go back to granddaddy and grandma. Her half was home, clean, kids. His half was protect, serve, bring home the bacon.
Right.
50-50, in my eyes, that's a 50-50, because that's what made sense at that particular time.
Right.
When what people don't talk about outside of just the negative shit that happened to us in the 80s, what a lot of people don't talk about is how the wage gap changed versus and that's one of the reasons why women not only fought for the right to get out there and work, they had to.
Yeah.
Because the cost of living versus the wage gap, it did not go up at the same time.
It's still on that.
And in 76, 74, correct me if I'm wrong, but 1976 to 74, from the beginning, it was like this. Wages went up, cost of living went up, all even.
Yeah.
So one income could take care of a whole house.
Yeah.
Around 76, the cost of living went up here, and then the wages plateaued.
Yeah.
And it still haven't caught up in 2023.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that when you look at the overall pie, it's just like, yo, how is it possible to have that quote unquote traditional relationship in 2023, like granddaddy and grandma? You know what I'm saying? And not outside of their personal issues. We ain't even gonna get into that, but we're just talking like finances, being able to swing that.
Just
like run a household is a business.
Yeah.
That's your partner.
For sure.
How do you run your business
Right.
with your business
So
partner?
granddaddy was looked at, he the man of the house.
Yeah.
Because he did this, that, and the third. Now the question that in the back of my mind is he still the man of the house if he couldn't have done this, that, and the third? You know what I mean? And in 2023, is he still the man of the house if he cannot do this, that, and the third, bring home the bacon, cover all the bills? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Is he still a man? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we watched the video.
Yeah.
You said the video earlier where you had, and I like it because it's a conversation between two men having this conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my question.
So, great point. You about to explore. Say something.
I just
you gotta get it out. Go ahead.
Okay, so if the guy he's a stay-at-home dad, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, it's like, how is he still the head of the household if financially, in that traditional sense, is he not really holding or out working and out providing the wife, right? Yeah. I think that's where you show up with how present is he as a father, because this, in that sense, now if you sitting on this couch and you playing that damn game all day and you ain't paying these kids no attention, and you ain't putting no money on this table.
That part.
Oh, nigga, you not doing what you need to do.
Right. Yeah.
But if you are that dad, if you're that airport dad, if you're the dad who's doing all of that, if you are that partner that is helping me to be in the best mental space possible, that during this season I do have to pull my weight a little bit more, then you still the head of the household. And for me, spiritually, like, how are you governing our household?
Bluetooth disconnected.
Our home? Okay. Like that's important to me because biblically that is not my job. God assigned that to a man to be the pastor of the household. So if you're not even concerned with leading us spiritually, you definitely not doing your job.
Right.
That's good. Right. So let me process all this because y'all said a lot. So I want to make sure I hit a few of the points. Okay. So while you was just talking about like the history of the household, essentially, you know what I'm saying? Like the history of what we saw. You know, Lita, you were speaking more so, okay, in present time, this is what it needs to look like for you or for some women. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important. So I feel like nowadays the narratives are making it strictly financial. It's almost like a man got to have X, Y, and Z, probably because this is what the internet or the media is narrating. They're saying, hey, a man has to have this, right? Now, we're not saying we're not supposed to have standards or you're supposed to just accept anything, right? But like I was speaking on my upbringing, I always felt like value came from what I had as a man. And, you know, I don't have anything unless I'm a worker or a provider.
That's rare, though.
That's very rare, but now...
Extreme.
Now the thing is like you need to have, as a man, you got to have X amount of money, you got to have this type of credit, you got to have this type of residual income, this type of passive income, just to get a chick that, you know, don't even really care about you at all. Like she's not really gonna be into you unless you have these things. You got to check all these boxes. They're not even talking spiritual.
Right.
They don't even care about none of that.
Right.
Like from the gate, this is what I got because maybe she got 1 or 2 successful businesses, so now she feels like I'm not dealing with that no more. Again, which is fine, right? But I feel like the vast majority of the population right now, that's not realistic. That's just not realistic in a traditional relationship in 2023. I feel like because the cost of living has went up and the expenses have, the pay hasn't, that has now created where you have to collaborate with your partner financially with some things. So taking all that into account, Nolita, I want to ask you, should women split bills with men?
No.
Okay, elaborate.
I've done it before. I think depending on the man's where he is mentally with accepting that he cannot fully provide, how he will show up in that house, he is going to be angry. You are going to come home to a man who is very unhappy with his financial. Just when y'all don't make money, y'all ain't happy. Y'all are not happy campers to be around. So just from experience, like it was something we agreed upon. Right. But I think my frustration was, and kind of like the guy in the video that we watched the other day, I'm complacent and I'm not striving for more. Yeah. So not only is that frustrating for me to view it, it's like you don't even care enough about what we building for you to go the extra mile. Right. You cool with seeing me go to work for 8 hours. Yes. Then I got to come home, cook your dinner. Then I got to be on my knees and my back. It's like, when do I get a break? Right, but you only work 8 hours and you to come home, you get to be served. Right. So it's like that 50 ain't really 50. So, and you don't want to work for more. Like, come on.
Well, that's key. That's the problem right there. The not wanting more. So in those situations, it needs to be a real personality check. Like with and this is where women kind of remember I said earlier, y'all kind of accept shit that y'all shouldn't accept from the beginning. Yeah. And when you do that, you put yourself in situations that will never land. I think what in the beginning of the relationship, you need to see, okay, well, your finances is here. Are you trying to get here? What are you doing to get here? What's the path? Because the thing is, he can find somebody who don't care what he's doing, and he can sit his ass on the couch, and they're gonna serve because they don't want to go no further in life.
But he can't flex about that woman. though. They want the woman that they can flex about, but it's like you're not trying to elevate.
Yeah, but and that's why they end up, and then you like, damn, that's his baby mama. You know what I mean?
How did that end up together?
But this is the thing: he's not on the level of the woman that he wants to flex with. He just was able to get her, but he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So who's responsible in that instance then? So you're saying a woman who is fully capable of having these things, tangible assets, and she has a man in her life who really is not.
The woman is responsible.
The
reason why I say the woman is responsible in that situation is because she shouldn't have allowed her in her space. He don't supposed to be there. The nigga that's supposed to be there with her is somewhere else or looking for her, and he
or dealing with a woman that's less than,
or dealing with a woman that's less than, because most of the time, men who are like on top of their shit and really doing shit, that's kind of that's how hypergamy is set up.
Yeah.
But in that particular situation, I feel like the woman is the one that shouldn't have allowed that to become or to grow. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to shut that shit down immediately. As soon as you see signs that you don't like, bail. Like, hey, look, I like you as a person. We got some chemistry, but the way my life is set up, where yours is going and mine is going, ain't gonna work. And that's one thing that men who have their shit together have over women who have their shit together. A man who got his shit together is not finna deal with a woman who's not on his program.
Because he knows how hard he has worked to get to where he is, and he knows that also as a man showing up in the world, this is just my observation, what it takes for y'all to succeed is like, you for sure not about to dismantle this. This is not gonna happen.
You're not getting with my program. So my advice to just women in general, make that nigga get on your program. If he can't get on your program, then find another nigga that will. And it's definitely something out there, especially if you're on top of your shit.
And investigate. Like, don't be afraid to ask the questions. That's the mistake that I've made in the past. I assumed and I leaned too much into the potential of the mirage of the person that I created myself.
Oh, that's worse.
That's worse. Let me hop in.
That's worse than the representative. That's worse than the representative. You created the representative.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Back what you were saying, like in situations like that, sometimes women fall for the potential,
right?
Instead of what they see, and then now, like you were saying, a man off bat who is status quo, have his shit together. But a woman's not always going to be quick to move in that space. You know what I'm saying? She's going to be more patient. She's going to show more grace in that instance because she's in it to help a man elevate.
Right.
Like I said, as a man, we've already, worked hard and we got, got to where we got in life, and we're not looking for a woman to tear that shit down or run into the ground.
Yeah.
Because you hear the stories all the time of successful men who have been destroyed by women. Because the Bible say a foolish woman plucketh the house down with her hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, she could, you can have a woman in your house as a successful man, but if she's not the woman for you or God sends you, she's going to destroy your home.
And the other problem is they looking for girlfriends instead of wives.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Can we go back to the Bible one more time?
One more time, because they don't talk about girlfriends.
It's an informative podcast.
Because the Bible say,
you ain't got no sense. You ain't got no sense.
What was his name? Martin? Lonnie Love.
Lonnie Love.
That's about tempting me.
You ain't got no doggone sense. That's about tempting me.
Well, Gina, I do think.
That
Lonnie
fool
Love.
Down, Satan.
I rebuke you. No, as women, like, we're very optimistic. So we're optimistic, but then also we're communicators, and that works against us when we share so much about where we've been, what we're doing, what all this. And a nigga who ain't got nothing going on is a great listener because he's listening for what he can tag on and be like, yeah, me too. Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah, I'm working on that too. But if you haven't observed him actually doing that, if he's always free.
Always talking. Because I hear the phrase, if you want your man to be around all the time, he's not going to be successful. But if you want a successful man, he's not going to be around. Like a successful man is not going to have a lot of free time. No matter what he's doing, he's not going to have this free time. I know last episode we talked about how, like, when you are in a certain stage of life, your availability is limited. So when you're with your partner, you have to make the best of that time. You know what I'm saying?
They say? A man with money ain't got no time, and a man with time ain't got no
money.
That's what I was trying to say. You had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ain't got no money.
There you go. So while we still talking about this, and I'm gonna shoot this right to Wallace because I know it's a simple question, but I'll give you opportunity to talk about it. And if y'all have something y'all can throw in as well, but because we've been talking about this and it actually goes in sync with what we're talking about. So should the breadwinner be the leader of the household? Now, leadership can look a lot of different ways. We know what breadwinner is, right? The breadwinner is who bringing home the bacon.
Yeah.
That's the phrase. The breadwinner who is bringing home the bacon. is that whoever that is, whether it's the man or the woman, should they be the person that make the executive decisions about the household? Because Lydia, you did talk about, hey, I'm at work 8 hours a day. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to feel like coming home and facilitate. All right, did we take care of this? Did you do this? Like you feel. But some women say, hey, they can keep the cape on all day. If I'm bringing home the bacon,
kudos
I'm
to you, sis.
Because there
Where's
are
the
men
hook for mine?
who will allow it.
Hang it up.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me think of the question. Like, you know what? Whoever bringing home the most bread, like, should they be the leader of the household? Like, should they make all the decisions?
The man should lead.
Okay.
So
whether or not he's the breadwinner.
Whether or not he's a breadwinner, because at this particular point, just because the woman is the breadwinner, that doesn't necessarily means that she can lead or wants to lead out. I think because leading the household has more to do with the man or the personality or what the man presents himself as the man. Because think about this. You could have a woman making $140,000 a year, right? A man might be making 80, 100.
Before or after tax?
After tax.
Oh.
We talking, you know what I'm saying?
We're talking net income.
but it what makes him less than a man because he makes $40,000 a year less than what she makes? Because y'all still able to do everything that y'all want to do. He's still paying for every dinner. He still buy you whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? We in a household. Now, this boyfriend, a girlfriend, a marriage, however you want to put it, but it's not. Nothing changes really because that woman wants to come home and be comfortable that if there's a bump in the night, that nigga getting up. I don't care if he make $30, $35. You know what I'm saying? I mean, $35,000 a year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if something happened, if that tire go flat and she call him, hey, my tire on the flat. Here I come. That's what she want. Hey, what's up with this garbage? Oh, I got it. Hey, my engine light came on. Oh, let me see. You know what I'm saying? Along with everything else, a good father, and you know what I'm saying? That's the part. Those are the parts of leading the house. And just because the other person makes more money, that don't necessarily mean that they're the smartest. Yeah. It don't. You know what I'm saying?
Or the most strategic leader in that realm. I think for men who have had examples or just the life experiences to gain those leadership skills, right?
Yeah.
That I won't say it's rare. I would just say it's not every nigga ain't walking around with that, right? No. But the issue is, and the reason why a lot of men don't strategically lead is because they did have single mothers who they saw working so hard that that's what they feel like womanhood shows up like. So it's like, okay, you saw your mama getting up and going to do everything, but she was by herself. Right. You right here. Right. Like that ain't the same.
Even though society tells us one thing, like, hey, you need to be the breadwinner, you need to do this. What you see in your household tells you another.
Yeah. That's really what I want to kind of get into, like what that looks like now in relationships. Like you said, you can have a successful woman and a successful man, or vice versa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that come together to be one, to work towards a goal?
We got to stop the 50-50 mindset.
Okay, when you say a mindset, what are you saying? Like like which part of the 50-50 mindset?
The half this.
Like
half,
just doing your part.
Yeah, that we have to stop that. It needs to be 100
partnership.
I don't give a fuck if he make 45,000 and she make 145,000. You know what I'm saying? If she's with him and is in this relationship, number one, she need to know that their goals match up, as in his ambition or whatever the case may be. Don't get with a nigga who's looking to be a teacher, and then once he gets his job and he's comfortable making that $50,000 a year, and you want him to make $200,000 because you want him to be an entrepreneur, you have to accept that because that's his passion.
And that's your choice.
And that's
you made that choice.
You made that choice to be with the teacher who made $50,000. Don't complain about that because he don't. Now, when you get into those situations where he can't pay all of your bills because you make $140,000 a year, your bills are different from his. He might drive a pickup truck. You might drive a Lexus truck. Like, you can't expect him to pay your condo. But what you can do is, as in the household, y'all can be 100. All your money go here, his money go there. Y'all got y'all obligations, and y'all make sure everything is taken care of regardless. Because if you wanted to take care of your shit, y'all can live off that $50,000.
So you saying joint account?
Nothing but the joint account.
The sweat.
Nothing but the joint account.
You know what I'm saying?
But
You know what I'm saying?
real
But
quick.
it don't even necessarily have to be a joint account situation. It just can be a joint life situation.
Right. So look, that's what I want to get into. So you mentioned it briefly about goals. Like I feel like couples should talk about that.
Yeah.
Like when you've established that you're in something committed, you all should talk about goals. Make sure you're moving at that same pace and frequency, because when the finances and other things get involved, it's like, okay, you will understand why she's doing this or why he's doing that, because hey, we both trying to get to this particular goal for our household. You know what I'm saying? But social media just have this uncanny way to make narratives appear so detrimental on men, particularly black men. So I had this question. I was like, well, has social media made things like this, made it difficult for couples to split expenses? Because no, you clearly said, no, ain't no split. No, because that's the mindset women have come into, or some women have grew into in 2023. Like, you know what, I tried that already and I failed. But as a man, that's always something we got to be able to do, no matter what. But like you said, whatever we bringing in, whatever, this 40K, I'm gonna have to stretch it as far as I can. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, and this actually is a question I'm posing to y'all, like, has social media made that difficult for us when it comes to splitting expenses? Like, you know what? Because the narratives we are currently seeing is that what's making women say no, they don't want to do it. Like, it's what you seen on the internet. No, Lena, I'm gonna let her go. Is that what you seen on the internet influencing that decision? And that it doesn't make you less than or greater than to say yes or no as far as what we see on the internet, because that's what we do. Like, you gain information, whether it's truthful or not. Sometimes it influences how we think, whether we believe it or not as well.
I think for me, it hasn't been social media. It's because I have had different observations throughout my life, and I've been able to look at, okay, I see what y'all got going on over here. I see that my grandmother had a more corporate job with benefits, and my grandfather was a carpenter. He was an entrepreneur. So it was different in that sense. My grandmother owned the property outright, but he necessarily didn't own the property outright with her, but he still showed up in the house like a man. Like, that's my pops. But my father and my bonus mom, different situation. My father has always been a breadwinner. My stepdad has always been a breadwinner. So it's just been my observation of what I've seen that has worked. And I think that from my personal experience of what I have gone through, and that I did try 50-50 and it didn't work, I want to try something different.
Right.
I want to try something different. And I think also it's just me learning how to ask the questions. And I think that a lot of times finances don't come up because, and other things don't come up because people are not friends with who they're actually in relationships with. And that's why you can't have a conversation about finances, because you feel like you're talking to an op and not your friend and not your partner. Like, if you my people, I could talk to you about anything because we're going to come up with that plan together. But if I'm feeling like I got to keep something from you or you keep something from me, it is going to be a little shaky. It's going to be a little nervous.
So what if you met a guy and he checked all the boxes, but his finances were in disarray? They weren't as complete as you might feel like they need to be for you. Would you still pursue that relationship or a dating situation?
I think it's all how he handles it. I've dated somebody who, at the end of the day, he wanted to be a kept man. And we went out to dinner and we sat there for 45 minutes till he figured out how the hell he was going to pay for that bill, because I wasn't going to do it.
So you went on a date with a guy and he wanted to be a kept man. What is that?
So, for one, he kept pressing me. He flew in town to see me, right? And he kept pressing me.
Should save that money for the date.
Y'all so
Somebody got food out? No, somebody flew in.
He flew in town to see me, but he kept pressing me to know where is like the itinerary or whatever, right? So I'm like, but on the back end,
this brother had a plan.
Oh my God.
On the back end, he saw the bill or whatever, and he literally, we sitting there, I'm playing on my phone, I went to the bathroom, bill still sitting there. 45 minutes after the bill, he eventually and paid the bill. And when we got back to my apartment, he was like, the reason why I was asking is because I wanted to know where we were going, to know if I could afford it, but because we weren't friends, he didn't feel comfortable with telling me that. Because if he would have told me that, I would have been like, look, we can go to dinner, I'll pay for it, it's been nice knowing you. But the fact that you can't even pay for a dinner that's $150, but You can catch this flight. You got labels on. It tells me where your priorities are.
Yes.
So the fact that you want to be a kept man, that ain't really my steez.
Yeah. So that's
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Flew in.
Flew in.
So that
Broke.
Bro.
not really. He just didn't want to spend money on the food.
But see,
my
the
little
giveaway
dinner.
was that he didn't even think to say. He just assumed that he would be staying with me. So that was my first inkling. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and let him come on up in here so I can see how he moved.
Mm-hmm.
And that weekend with just the spending, and he was just kind of like how I would be with a dude that takes me out. He was just very, thank you. And I'm like, what you thanking me for? I ain't paying for it. Like, no, bro. Like,
So that actually, since you was talking about like a dating experience, is actually going to lead us into this next segment.
Okay.
Right? So y'all know it's this list going around.
oh, the list.
And this list of places that men, me and Wallace can't take women.
Right.
What we shouldn't be.
Right.
Or like potential red flags if a man take it to X, Y, and Z. So